It's easy to make a mute character.
If a character doesn't speak, you can show their thoughts and feelings solely through expressions and body language, without needing a voice that's just right. But the moment you give your character a voice, it's a whole new ballgame. Character's image is precious and can shatter at any moment, especially when it comes to voice actors. In a live-action production, it's completely visible what actor is playing who, and that's just it. They're playing the character. When the time comes to design a fictional character in CG, or 2D, the actor doesn't play the character, but rather they are the character. How the actor portrays their role is tantamount to how people see the character. You take a look at Knack. The moment he speaks, you hear a voice befitting of this large-bodied hero type, and then he takes in a million rocks and becomes 1,000 feet tall. And throughout both games, while the narrative is nothing special, his voice always works and portrays his personality completely.
Ice is nice.
Getting something like this down can be even harder when you're not creating a voice character from scratch and rather just adding a voice to an already established character. This can be seen in Jack's character in the Jak and Daxter series. In the first game, he was a silent, cheery, and adventurous boy with loads of expression. Once Jak 2 hit though, he aged into an older teen personality, and with him, so did the tone of the games. A proper voice for this new tone and character shift needed to be found, and without a doubt, it was done perfectly. Mike Irwin's Jak is masterfully crafted to fit no matter what situation Jak is in, and it really makes him stand out as the main protagonist.
Precursor stone, gun, nest.
Light her up, Padre!
Eat this.
But the hardest thing, by far, is changing the voice of a character. When you change someone's voice, you change who they are. The Sonic franchise has had to do this various times throughout its run. Sometimes you get characters perfectly portrayed.
Cut it out, Storm! Alright, Kirby, hand over the Ark of the Cosmos!
And then the next game, they just turn into absolute dog shit.
Regardless of why we're here, this Grand Prix is ours, Sonic the Hedgehog!
First, you had to give Sonic his voice, though, since he started out as a silent, cool dude from the 90s. They needed an actor to portray this 90s attitude in the form of Jaleel White, but it was only ever for 9-game productions. He starred in 3 shows and was Sonic every time. Many hold his voice dear to their hearts, and while I do enjoy it, it always seemed to be stuck in one mode that says, hey, I'm cool, you know, like, that was all he knew about himself. Sonic's writing and lines already did this well. The voice should have focused more on making Sonic feel like a real character with emotions, but even when Jaleel displayed emotions, there was no real impact. Martin Burke's Sonic only really saw the light once in the OVA, but it works so perfectly with my idea of classic Sonic's portrayal. The voice itself does sound a bit silly, but it's so expressive while keeping his main attitude intact. In fact, honestly, I absolutely adore the English OVA cast. I wouldn't be able to imagine them as any modern character, but if there was ever voice acting in some form of classic Sonic media, their return would be phenomenal. Now, as for the games, the most common consensus I hear is Dreamcast, Sonic, and Knuckles were good. The rest of the modern cast, aside from like Shadow, is great, and fuck 4Kids. But I honestly have never really been able to agree with this. Sure, Ryan Drummond is the first voice people tend to hear or imitate when Sonic comes to mind, but I'm far more fond of Jason Griffith myself. Like I said before, when you change a character's voice, you change the character. Even when written in a similar way, the voices change everything. Ryan Drummond had that same problem Jaleel had, you know, with how he had the 190s mode turned on, even when he did work after the 90s were over, and his character was always focused on being the cool guy. Jason Griffith was a relief and a new experience for Sonic, but he wasn't all that great right away. From Sonic X up till about Sonic 06, his voice was very amateur and clearly was developing, but once you hit Secret Rings, as bad as the Bonobo apes who programmed the fucking thing did, Jason picked up his real identity for Sonic here. After this came Unleashed, where he improved even more and was near perfect.
Chip? Gotta call you something, don't I? What do you think?
Boom, Sonic and the Black Knight. This game came around and his performance was absolutely spot on. Not a single moment in this game did I feel a line wasn't expertly delivered.
Oh, I get it. No problem. I'm used to stuff like this.
Regardless of his quality though, the whole time Jason was this carefree hero who never backed down, and aside from maybe one game, it was always at least a little bit enjoyable to see him perform and grow. But then you have Roger Craig Smith over here with his Pizza Hut ass, Baldy McNose hair fucking piece of shit Sonic acting that slanders everything Jason mastered. Who's responsible for him? Iblis? How do you go from this?
Slade Wilson, Deathstroke.
Former military, subject of a failed medical experiment.
Failed, you say?
To this.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
They are both the same guy and everything. How the actual fuck? There's an inherent asshole attitude to Roger's voice for Sonic that makes me absolutely despise it for modern Sonic. Every game he's written into these already cheesy jokes, but somehow manages to make them seem more pretentious than cheesy. Sonic is so unlikable in his modern games. It's like I'm going back to play at 06, not able to stand Sonic's actual character, except this time, with Colors and Generations, I'm either not having any fun or just being slightly entertained. Now, I don't mind that he voices Boom Sonic. He was never really established up to that point, so I had nothing to be desired, and while I still don't like his general character in the show, he began as a laid-back, self-absorbed asshat, so it at least fits. Even with Ryan, though, Sonic was always adventurous, and Jason just nailed it in a lot harder. Roger was the back end of the fucking hammer that pulls the nail out completely, and there's just this void of nothingness that's just unpleasant. Now, to his credit, he does seem to be shaping up in Forces so far, and I know he can voice other characters well, but Sonic, it's just not right in my opinion. Forces might be what Secret Rings was to Jason, but I doubt that'll happen. From his performances, Sonic's image is back to the way past cool, look at me kind of position that nobody needs to be in anymore. Like I said, I'm hoping this next game will be able to fix this, but I have plenty of doubts. In Japan, however, the voice cast has hardly, if ever, changed around Sonic Adventure. Every character was established day one and continues to this day. Everyone recognizes Junichi Kanemaru's Sonic right away, and he's just as carefree as Jason's Sonic, just Japanese. He does such a fantastic job portraying the character, and he's been doing it for nearly 20 years now. An actor's portrayal is so fragile because it determines how everyone sees the character as a whole. There is so much media that portrays the right way to voice act, and even more that shows the wrong way. Sonic's had his ups and downs, you know, Jaleel was a nice foundation, then Martin came in with his wonderful portrayal of classic Sonic. Ryan began Modern's legacy like Jaleel did Classic, you know, an okay start, but had room to be filled with something more. Jason then came in and obliterated fucking everyone single-handedly. Roger, though, is not the real Sonic. Roger turns him from this carefree, lovable hero to this jerk-off who cracks jokes and swallows stuffed crushed chili dogs the whole time. His voice doesn't tell me that he wants to save the day, that he loves his friends, that he enjoys everything he does. It's just telling me that he's cool, or at least he's trying to be, and in this day and age, this is possibly the worst thing that Sonic can be. Just cool. His games after that were alright, I guess Generations was kind of fun. Roger himself lacks the wonder Jason was able to capture, and it just goes to show how a switch in voice can make or break a character. The day Jason stopped voice acting for Sonic is the day Sonic's character died for me.